Dr. Rose Cotter, a therapist who experienced trauma after seeing her mother commit suicide when she was 10 years old, sees graduate student Laura Weaver in an urgent appointment after being checked into Mount Pleasant Hospital. Laura furiously believes she is being tormented by an evil ghost whose curse has consumed her life that no one but her can see. Laura had just witnessed her professor Gabriel Munoz smash himself with a hammer. Laura insists that the entity has the ability to manifest as other people while wearing a frightening smile. Despite Rose's diagnosis that she is experiencing hallucinations, Laura immediately flips out, saying she's going to die, then starts smiling menacingly before slicing open her neck in front of Rose with a shard of a broken vase. It comes out that Rose's ex-boyfriend Joel is one of the investigators who questions her about Laurie's death. Rose explains what Laura told her about allegedly being cursed by an evil spirit while still reeling from what she witnessed, smiling hauntingly. Laura has a habit of grinning at Rose in unexpected places. The visions motivate Rose to look into Gabriel Munoz's suicide, and she learns that Gabriel had a peculiar smile on his face moments before he passed away. Carl Rankin, a patient who was once hospitalized for a manic episode, is seen by Rose. Rose calls for security as Carl continues to terrify and threaten her while grinning menacingly. Although Carl is restrained by orderlies, Rose seems to have only dreamt Rose's aggressive acts. Dr. Morgan Desai, Rose's boss, puts her on a 1-week leave of absence because she thinks Laura's horrible death may have caused a mental breakdown. Rose is at home alone when the security alarm sounds after another unsettling Laura vision. A security service operator appears to phone Rose and leave a mocking voicemail. Shortly after, Rose receives a call from the real operator. When Rose's fiancé copyright Trevor gets home, she discovers that her cat is missing. Rose is watching the recordings from her session with Laura when she gets startled again and needs Trevor to calm her down. Rose sees Dr. Madeline Northcott, her former therapist, out of concern for her own mental health. Rose claims to be experiencing hallucinations, which Madeline believes is a result of Rose's lingering guilt over her mother's deliberate overdose. Madeline rejects Rose's request for a prescription for an antipsychotic drug. Rose and Trevor attend Jackson's 7-year-old birthday celebration at Rose's sister Holly's home. The company is horrified when Jackson opens Rose's gift and finds her deceased cat inside. When Rose sees another picture of Laura, she becomes frightened and trips and falls through a glass table. She adamantly maintains her innocence. Rose tries to tell Trevor about the alleged curse that afflicted Laura, presumably being passed on to her as her sanity begins to crumble. Trevor dismissively accuses Rose of killing their cat and having a mental disorder like her mother. Victoria, the widow of Gabriel Munoz, receives a visit from Rose. Victoria displays to Rose the unsettling drawings Gabriel made of the ominous creature he said was trying to enter him. Rose also learns that Gabriel was wounded by the passing of his brother 20 years prior and that he started yelling about the curse after seeing a woman kill herself at a conference. After Rose claims that Gabriel was telling the truth about his curse when he asked Victoria to throw the woman out of her house, Victoria refuses to reveal the woman's identity. Joel is persuaded by Rose to assist her in putting together more clues. Gabriel Munoz's real estate agent, Angela Powell, was found dead, and Joel uses his law enforcement computer to obtain a file for her. Additional video reveals that a few days before she passed away, Angela witnessed a happy man at a gas station abruptly slash his own neck with gardening shears. When Rose returns home, she discovers that Trevor had requested Madeline's intervention owing to Rose's poor mental state. Rose rushes out the door to deliver copies of Joel's files to her sister Holly, still feeling duped. When Rose attempts to inform Holly of the curse, the sisters argue over how Rose is acting like their dominating mother. Joel phones Rose to inform her that more investigation has found a network of 20 identical incidents involving witnesses to 19 suicides. The exception was accountant Robert Talley, who witnessed the suicide of his business partner. However, instead of killing himself, Robert murdered a stranger 4 days later. 1 week later, the eyewitness to Robert's acts committed suicide, and the cycle began again. Joel visits Robert Talley's prison visitation with Rose. Rose confides in an unconvinced Joel during the journey that she believes the entity possessed victims before they commit suicide and that she is concerned her time with the curse is running out. At the jail, Robert tells Rose in confidence that the only way to free herself from the curse is to murder another person, but there must be a witness because the creature needs trauma to survive. When Robert knows Rose is currently under the curse, he quickly becomes anxious. Madeline pays Rose a visit at her home. When the real Madeline calls her, Rose realizes the presence is impersonating her. Rose is threatened by Madeline's smiling doppelganger. Rose drives to the hospital armed with a kitchen knife. Rose sees herself stabbing her patient Carl to death in front of Dr. Desauty, who then tears his own face off. The real Dr. Desauty discovers Rose in her car with a knife and attempts to summon assistance before she drives away. Joel calls to inform Rose that an APB has been issued for her based on her encounter with her concerned boss at the hospital. Rose cryptically explains that she will confront the entity and wishes to do so alone so that no witnesses will inherit the curse. Rose drives to her mother's abandoned childhood home. Inside, Rose is confronted by a vision of her mother, who accuses Rose of allowing her mother to die by failing to call for help after discovering her overdosing. Rose accuses her mother of being a monster who abuses her. The vision then manifests itself as a lanky creature that attacks Rose. Rose uses an oil lantern to set fire to the creature. Rose then flees outside as the entire house catches fire. Joel receives a visit from Rose to express her regret for involving him in this situation and for not being emotionally present while they were dating. Joel's eerie smile makes Rose realize she is still cursed. Rose runs outside only to find that her childhood home is still intact. The genuine Joel shows up at the unwanted house. To safeguard him, Rose locks Joel outside while the animal pulls open her mouth. Joel breaks into the house so as to forebodingly see Rose set herself ablaze while grinning.